right, everybody, welcome to game number 2, 1982 ALCS. A bit of a surprise in game 1 as the Royals took it to the Brewers and really took it to Pete Vukovich. And they surprised the Brewers by taking a 1-0 lead. So the pressure is definitely on the shoulders of the Brewers. You don't want to go back 0-2. Even though you're going back to Milwaukee, you don't want to go back down 2-0. Starting pitchers, a couple of lefties. Paul Splittorff for the Royals. He was 10-10 with a 4.28 ERA. And for the Brewers, Mike Caldwell, another lefty, 17-13 with a 3.91 ERA. Whoops. So those are your starters for game 2. And now let's look at the starting lineups. So I have them on the score sheet. Pretty much the same lineup for both teams. I didn't really do a whole lot of tweaking except possibly I did move Cooper up to 3rd and Simmons down to 4th, but that really didn't do a whole lot. Most of the lineups are the same for everybody. Mulder, Yount, Cooper, Simmons, Thomas, Ogilvie, Money, Moore, and Gantner for the Brewers. Wilson, White, Brett, McRae, Otis, Akins, Wathen, Martin, and Washington for the Royals. And of course, it was Willie Akins who was the star of the game 1 with his 2 3-run homers that really put the game away. And now he's got to face a lefty Caldwell, so we'll see if that's going to make any difference or not. Splittorff finishing up the warm-up tosses, and he'll be facing Paul Molitor. This game, I'm recording this on Saturday, October the 16th. Just finished playing game 2 of the National League Championship Series, in which, well, I won't spoil it in case you didn't get a chance to watch it, but so I'm recording these back-to-back on a Saturday morning. This one will post most likely either Sunday or Monday. I'm leaning towards Sunday before all the football games come on. Is possibly a time to do that. And then, of course, both teams will take a day off for travel, as game 3 will be in Milwaukee. And the game 3 starters, as we look ahead to game 3, the Brewers will have veteran Don Sutton to be their starter in game 3. And the Royals will counter with another veteran, and another left-hander, Larry Gura. So they're going with all the lefties. They had Vida Blue in game 1, Splittorff in game 2, and game 3 is Larry Gura. So it's Don Sutton against Larry Gura in the matchup in game 3. If there is a game 4, Dennis Leonard would go for the Royals, and I believe Moose Haas would go for the Brew Crew. So we shall see how that all plays out. But right now we need to get through game 2. Don't want to look too far ahead. Got our royal blue dice with a little bit of green there for the, well, Brewers aren't really green, but I don't have a yellow D20, so could bring out red, but neither team has red in their uniform, so thought green was close enough. All right, we are ready to go. Let me make sure everything appears to be copacetic visually, and it seems to be from what I'm looking through my phone. All right, so game 2 about to get underway. The Brewers, I won't say a must-win, but it's pretty close to a must-win. They're down 1-0. Ballpark effects for Royal Stadium. Singles are 1-16. Home runs 1-11 for lefties, only 1-2 for right-handers. All right, so Paul Splittorff. And since this is a Saturday morning, you might hear me sipping coffee in between plays. That's just what I do on a Saturday morning. So here we go. Splittorff to Molitor. Game 2 underway. 3-9 for Molitor against a lefty. All these hits in column 3, and he found a ground ball to second. So sort of some bad luck there for Molitor. 1 away. Splittorff happy about it as Frank White puts it away. 1 down for Robin Yount, shortstop. 3-7 against a lefty, and that's a walk. So Robin Yount draws the 1-out walk. And he's a threat to get a jump. He needs a 6. Need to go through the catcher pitcher hold ratings. Splittorff is a +1. Wathen's a -1, so that's a wash. That's a 0. So you get -2 for being held. So that would only be a 1-16 if he can get the jump, but he has to get a 6 to get a jump. That's the only way he can do it, get a 6. And he can't do it, so Yount will have to stay put. He can't get the jump. He, of course, will be held. And even though they're facing a left-hander, they're putting Cecil Cooper in the number 3 spot and dropping Simmons to 4. So they were kind of flip-flopped. So we'll see if that has any effect, or how that has any effect. Obviously, it will have effect in some ways. Split torque to Cooper, 2-9, and that's a ground ball to second. It's a plus sign there, but the infield's not in. So it's a ground ball to second, B, so that's the fielder's choice. White over to UL Washington. 2 down, Cooper, not much of a runner. He will definitely have to stand pat. And actually, had Simmons been hitting third like I had him before in game 1, 2-9 would have been a ground ball double play, so the inning would have been over. So I guess at least in the beginning, it was advantageous to have Cooper bat third, but see how that plays out during the whole game. And actually, I don't even need to roll the D20 because Split Torque doesn't have a wild pitch or balk rating, and Wathen doesn't have a pickoff rating. So when Split Torque's pitching, I don't even need that havoc roll. Now I just figured that out. Here's Simmons. That is a 3-6 for Simmons against the lefty. It's a ground ball to third. Brett will go the short way to White. 5-4 put out, and the inning is over. Brew Crew go rather meekly. A 1-out walk, but nothing else to show for it. We go to the bottom of the first. No score, as the Royals are coming to bat against the guy who kind of had a nickname of the Yankee Killer, Mike Caldwell, but he's not facing the Yankees right now. He is facing the Brew Crew. And his job is to keep Willie Wilson off the bases. That's one of the main things he needs to do right now, if you're the Brewers, is keep Willie Wilson and his speed off the bases. Wilson will turn around and bat right-handed as a switch hitter against the lefty Caldwell. 4-2, Caldwell against a right-hander. Ground ball to third. Nice play there by Milder, and that's one away. That's a good way to start your game if you're the Brew Crew. Here's Frank White, second baseman. 2-6, and that's a double against the lefty, Frank White. 1-out double. And before I forget, the hold rating, Mike Caldwell's a -4. Simmons is a +2, but it's an aggregate -2. So -2 is the hold rating combined for both pitcher and catcher for the Brew Crew. So that might help curb the Royal run game a little bit, although they used the home run ball, long ball in the game 1, not the speed. So here's George Brett. Frank White will be held at second base. Caldwell will have to roll the havoc for Caldwell because he's got wild pitches and balk chances, but nothing happening. Here's George Brett, lefty on lefty, 1-4, and all these hits in column 1, he found a fly ball to left, put away out there by Ben Ogilvy. 2 down, and now it's all up to Hal McRae. First base is open, but you do have Amos Otis right behind him, so which do you choose? McRae obviously had a great year, but Amos Otis wasn't too horribly bad. But you know what? They're not going to mess around with Hal McRae. Hal McRae in the 82 season, 308 hitter with 27 home runs and 133 RBIs. If you have first base open, you walk him. So Bamberger puts up the 4 fingers, not to signify the 4 horsemen, but to signify an automatic walk. And since we're back in 1982, Caldwell has to throw the 4 light tosses to initiate and complete that walk. And now that'll bring up A.O. Amos Otis. Otis, my man. 2 outs and 2 on. Will the strategy pay off? 6-6. Ground ball to short. Well, they would have gotten McRae as well, so I guess it 6-1, half dozen of the other. It's going to go as a 6-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. So Royals threaten a little bit, but don't come away with anything. And at the end of 1, we got no score from what is listed here as Kauffman Stadium, but of course back in 82 it was just simply Royal Stadium. And that'll bring up Stormin' Gorman Thomas. He had a rough game in game 1. I believe he had the golden sombrero with 4 strikeouts. So he's definitely looking to turn that around. 3-7. That's a walk, so that's much better than striking out. A leadoff walk. Thomas will not be held. Certainly not going to go anywhere. And again, we don't need the havoc rolls when Split Torque's on the mound, so we'll go straight to the bat for Ogilvy. 1-8, and that's a pop out to third. Brett is right there, 1 away. And that brings up the designated hitter, Don Money. As long as they're using lefty starters, Money will be the DH, and he might even be the DH when the right-hander is in there because he's just such a good hitter. So once again, Splittorff, 5-7 to Money. Ground ball short, I'm sorry, 5-6 would have been that. Ground ball second base X. But the runner, Thomas, was not being held, so the second baseman in this case, Frank White, is not affected in his range at all. He's going to be a 1E20. Could be a double play. 1 and a 12. Let's see if that's a ground ball A. 1 and a 12 is a G1, which is a double play ball. That's an 8. He's an E20. There is no 8. There's a 3, 13, 18, and 17, but no 8. So that turns out to be a 4, 6, 3 double play. And that will quickly end at the top of the second as Splittorff gets the ground ball he needs, gets out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the second, still no score. And it'll be the hero from game 1, Willie Aikens. See if he can keep that magic going against Caldwell. 6-4, that's a catcher X. Simmons is a 3E1. Oop, we're going to re-roll that. Look at that. We're not going to play stacked dice, so this is not Jenga. We're going to keep going. It's a 5, and he is an E, or he's a range of 3, and we got a 5. So let's check that out and see what that turns out to be. 3 and a 5 is a P/P, which is a possible, would be a possible pass ball, but nobody on base. So we're looking at a pop-up. That's a 10, and he is an E1, so that's no problem whatsoever. It's just a pop-up. And Aikens pops it up to Ted Simmons for out number 1, and that brings up John Wathen. Caldwell to Wathen. 1-5 against the lefty for Wathen. 1-2 is a triple. Anything else is a single. That's a 16. 1-out single for John Wathen. And as a catcher, he's always been a very good runner. And he stole 36 bases, only caught 9 times. So he's definitely a threat. There is a -2 aggregate hold, so that would be a -4 when you count being held on. That would bring him to a 15. So if he gets a jump, it'd still be a 1-15. So he's going to try to get that jump. He needs a 2 through 5, an 11 or 12. He doesn't get it, so, and he will not try to steal off of the secondary jump. So he will be held, won't go anywhere. Can't get the jump. And here's a right fielder, Jerry Martin. Caldwell to Martin, 1-6. And that's damage done. 1-12 is a double. That's a 3, but it's 2 stars, so Wathen cannot score. But it does put runners at second and third with only 1 out. And here come the Royals again. UL Washington is the batter. Infield for the Brew Crew. I think they're thinking they're going to have to play in. So they're going to play in, try to choke the runoff. First the Havoc, nothing going on. So UL Washington stepping to the plate. Caldwell from the stretch with the infield in, 1 out, second and third, no score, at least not yet. 1-8 for UL, and he pops it up to third. All that stuff in column 1, it's a pop up to third. Molitor puts it away, and everybody's got to stand pat. Big out there for Caldwell, and now he has to get Willie Wilson. The infield can go back to normal. Just has to get Willie Wilson. That's his main focus right now, is to get Willie Wilson and get out of the inning. 4-7, Wilson switch hitter batting right-handed. That's a 1-16 single. That's a 15. It's a base hit for Willie Wilson. And that will score the first run as Wathen comes in to score. RBI single for Willie Wilson. Martin will have to stop at third as it's a 1-star single even with 2 outs. But it's 1-0 favor the Royals on the RBI single by Willie Wilson with runners at the corners, and Wilson's looking to get a jump. See if he can steal. Needs a 3 through 6. And he gets it, so he does get the jump. He will attempt to steal. He's an 18. Aggregate for the pitcher and catcher is a -2, makes it a 16. Being held makes it -2, brings up a 14. 1-14, he steals it. And he barely does. That was almost a 20, and it rolled to the 14 at the last second. So Wilson, he eludes the tag of Gantner and was able to steal it. So puts second and third now, where a base hit can score 2 runs for Frank White, who doubled his first time up. Caldwell with the Havoc, nothing going on. Caldwell to White. 2-8. Frank White damage here. 1-8's a home run, but that's a 15. It will be a double for Frank White. his second double of the game, and that's why I moved him up to the second spot and put UL Washington down here. Thought White was the better hitter, and he proves it right there. His second double of the game. It is now 3-0 Royals, and the Brewers are in deep, deep trouble. 3-0 Royals. Caldwell not faring a whole lot better than Vukovic did. Now he's got to face George Brett. You're not going to walk Brett to face McRae, so you got to face Brett. 5-8, lefty on lefty, a fly ball to left to end the inning. But 3 runs come in for the Royals. They grab a 3-0 lead. And they hand that over to Paul Splittorff and say, hold that lead for us. With an off day for travel tomorrow, they can use pretty much anybody in the bullpen they want because they will have an off day to rest. So all hands on deck in the bullpen pretty much for both teams. Except maybe for McClure because he went like 3 or 4 innings in game 1. So he's probably the only guy that's unavailable. Here's Charlie Moore. He's available. 3-4. He's available to fly to left. So put away out there by the left fielder Willie Wilson. 1 away. And here's Jim Gantner. Thought for a minute about benching Gantner against the lefty, letting Don Money play second base and having somebody else DH, or either having Ed Romero play second base, but I'll stick with Gantner. He's the regular. 4-2, and that's a ballpark home run chance, but he has weak power against lefties. The home run chance is 1-11. That's a 16, so it wouldn't have worked anyway. It's a fly to right. So Gantner is out of there, 2 down. That brings up the top of the order and Paul Molitor. That's a leaner, so I'm going to re-roll that. I could count as a 5-11, but that 5 was leaning. And that would have been a ground ball to third, but I don't like leaning dice or stacked dice, so I'm going to re-roll it. 6-6. And that's 1-8 for a double, and that's a 5, so that's a double. And the Royal fans are livid over that re-roll, thinking, what are you doing? But I just felt like I had to re-roll it. I'm not comfortable with dice that lean or stack up, so call it a snafu if you want, but that's just my philosophy on that. All right, Splittorff to Yount. 5-6, ground ball to short, innings over, so it's all a moot point as the Brewers don't score. So we go to the bottom of the third, still 3-0 Royals. Caldwell will try to keep the Royals right where they are and not allow anything else to happen. Here's McRae. He intentionally walked him his first time. 1-5 for McRae, and he walks him again, this time unintentionally. McRae not a threat to steal, so he will not be held and won't go anywhere. Here's Amos Otis. Havoc roll for Caldwell, nothing happening. 4-7 against a right-hander. 1-16 is a single. That is a 16. It's a base hit. So first and second, nobody out for Willie Aikens. And boy, he's in a position, one swing of the bat could blow this game wide open. Nothing happening. Here's Aikens. Caldwell to Aikens. 6-11 against a lefty. That's a ballpark single check, which is a 1-16. That's an 11. It's a base hit for Willie Aikens. It's going to load the bases with nobody out. And now the Royal bullpen is, the Brewer bullpen is loosening. Jim Slayton, a right-hander, is throwing in their bullpen. So let's see how they want to handle this. Bases loaded, nobody out. You pretty much have to bring the infield in. I don't think you have much of a choice with already down 3-0. You can't really give up more runs. That's a 2, chance for a balk or a pass ball. We're looking for a pass ball on Simmons. His pass ball rating is a 2. So no pass ball. But it'll be Wathen facing Caldwell with the bases loaded and nobody out. Infield is in. 2-5 for Wathen against a lefty. 2-5. And it's a good thing it didn't get a 2-6. That would have been a base hit. Here, 2-5 is a 1-13 single. Anything else, he grounds to second with a B. So let's check the chart, super advanced chart, and see what we get. Infield in, bases loaded, we get a B. So on a B, with the bases loaded, we get a 7, which is batter safe, lead runner is out. So in this instance, instead of it being a 1-13 single because of that 20, we drop down here, and the third baseman Molitor is able to field it and throw to Simmons to get the fourth. Goes 5-2 on the fielder's choice. Bases are loaded. Everybody else moves up a base. So the bases are still loaded with 1 out now. A double play would get them out of the inning. So they are playing for the double play. They are now playing back for a double play for Jerry Martin. Caldwell with the havoc. Nothing happening. 6-6. That's a ground ball, shortstop A, and they get that double play. Boy, talk about a Houdini job right there. I don't know why I was writing that like it's a fielder's choice. A 6-4-3 double play. And how about that? Caldwell saves his bacon. A force out the plate and then a ground ball double play, just what the doctor orders. We go to the fourth. It's still 3-0 favor of the Royals, but it could have been a lot worse. Brewers are still in this game. Slayton is now sat down as they don't want to wear him out in the bullpen. All right, here is Cecil Cooper and Splittorf. 1-5 for Cooper. That's a single to left. Leadoff base hit for Cooper. He is no threat to run, so he will stand pat. Here is Simmons. 6-8, and that's a strikeout. So Simmons is out of there, 1 away. Brings up Storm and Gorman. 4-5 against a right-hander. That's a fly to left. Put away by Willie Wilson, 2 down. And now Ogilvy is up, so that leadoff single by Cooper so far has not produced anything. As far as runs, 2-7. It's a 1-7 single. That is a 7. So the inning will continue. It's only 1 star, puts runners at first and second with 2 down for the DH Don Money. So Money can cash in right here with the home run, would tie the game. 4-4, however, is a ground ball third base X. That's Brett. He's a 2E21. 2 and a 14, he'll get to that. E21 and a 12. E21 and a 12. We'll check that for third base on the X chart. E21, there's an 11, but there's no 12. So Brett was able to make that play. And with 2 outs, he'll just throw to first to end the inning. So the Brew Crew get 2 on, but don't take advantage of that. Leave 2 on base, and we go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 3-0. Favor the Royals. And here's UL Washington, number 9 hitter, who will lead off. He popped to Molitor his first trip. 6-9, switch hitter batting right-handed. 6-9's an in-home run chance, 1-14. That is a 9. He does have normal power against lefties, so that is gone. UL Washington, a solo shot. Had he been facing a right-hander, that would have been just a single because he has weak power against righties, but he got normal power against lefties. That is gone. The Royals now take a 4-0 lead, and Jim Slayton again is loosening in the bullpen in back of Caldwell. Here's Willie Wilson. 1-7, that's a single for Willie Wilson. And now that'll bring up Frank White. Let's look at Slayton. Is he going to be coming in the game, or how they want to play this? They are going to bring in Slayton. That's going to be it. Frank White is doubled twice off of Caldwell. They don't want to face him a third time, so Jim Slayton, part-time starter, part-time reliever for the Brew Crew. In 82, he was 10-6 with 7 starts, 6 saves, and a 3.29 ERA. So he is in to quell this uprising by the Royals, as Mike Caldwell, once again, another Brewer starter, just didn't seem to have it. He's only going to go 3+ innings. He's responsible for 4 runs, but he's also responsible for the possible 5th run, as he gave up a lot of hits. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits allowed by Caldwell in 3+ innings. He walked 1 intentionally, also walked McRae here, so he walked Hal McRae twice, and that was the only 2 walks he had. And I don't see any strikeouts on the board, so no strikeouts. So Caldwell just wasn't fooling him. And now Slayton is on to face Frank White. Willie Wilson, definitely a threat to steal. See if he can get a jump. His jump rating 3 through 6. Nope, can't get the jump, so he'll hold on. And Frank White, the batter. Check the havoc on Slayton. Nothing happening. All right, Frank White 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. 210, and he might be another double. Look at that. He's a doubles machine. 210, and against Caldwell, he would have doubled as well. So here, 210, 1 through 18 is a double. That's a 7, so it's a double 2 stars. So Wilson can't score, where over here he probably would have scored against Caldwell. So by bringing in Slayton, at least you kept Wilson from scoring. But 3 for 3 with 3 doubles. Boy, Frank White moving up to that number 2 spot is looking like a really good move. Here's George Brett now. Nobody out. Runners at second and third. Infield, of course, is going to have to come in. Brett has fly to left twice. Slayton to Brett. 4-6. Pops him up to second base. That will help as Gantner puts it away, and Brett leaves 2 runners in scoring position. And now here's Hal McRae. Do they walk him again and pitch to Amos Otis, or do you just take your chances with McRae? Boy, you hate to have McRae do something to you, but you hate to load the bases too, because then another walk brings in a run. So I think they're going to pitch to McRae with the bases loaded. I'm sorry, with runners at second and third, or because Amos Otis is not really a ground ball double play guy all that much. Actually does have some A chances on his card. We're going to walk McRae again. They just don't want to deal with Hal McRae. So McRae will walk it. What that does is load the bases and set up a double play for AO, and he's got some ground ball A chances on his card now that I look at it. So they're playing back for the double play. Slayton, nothing on the havoc. Slayton to Otis, looking for the double play. 3-3. They get a ballpark single instead, and that's a 1-16. That's a 2, so that's a base hit for Amos Otis. And that's run number 2 for the Royals as Wilson comes in to score. White will take third base, and McRae will take second. Bases remain loaded. Now 2 runs are in. 5-0, and here comes Willie Aikens. And this could get from bad to worse for the Brew Crew. Slayton, nothing happening. Infield looking for the double play. 6-8, and that's a walk. So they force in a run with the walk, and that was the danger of loading the bases to begin with. That's a walk that will force in White. 3 runs are in now. It is 6-0 favor of the Royals, and the Brew Crew just doesn't know what hit them. Infield still, or Royals still trying to get those 2 outs. Wathen is up. The infield now is going to come in against Wathen. They don't think he can turn him on a double play, so they're going to play in. 4-5, and that's a fly ball to right field B, so it's a sacrifice fly by Wathen. That will score McRae. 4th run of the inning. It's now 7-0 in favor of the Royals, and Royal fans are just loving it, and Brew Crew fans are wondering what happened. And I don't know if getting back to Milwaukee is going to cure their ills. Here's Jerry Martin. Slayton to Martin. Nothing on the havoc. 9th man to bat in the inning. 5-12. That's a ground ball, second base X. That is Gantner. And let's see here. Gantner is a 2E17. 2 and a 12, he'll get to that. E17 and a 13. E17, there is no 13. There's a 15, but no 13. So Gantner makes the play to end the inning. Royals send 9 to the plate. 4 of them score. And at the end of 4 innings, it is 7-0 Royals. And Brew Crew just doesn't know what hit them. Paul Splittorff now can pitch very comfortably, leading 7-0. Facing Charlie Moore. 5-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That is UL Washington, a 2E32. 2 and a 14 is good. E32 and a 13 is an error. So E32 for a shortstop, a 13 is a 1 base error. So UL Washington boots it. E6 to start the inning. And they're going to call back Gantner. They got to get some offense out there. So they are going to call back Gantner. And they're going to bring in a pinch hitter. Mark Bruhard will pinch hit. And then Ed Romero will take over at second base. So Bruhard is your pinch hitter for Gantner. And then Ed Romero will take over at second base in the bottom of the inning. He is a 3E24. But right now it is Mark Bruhard who will be called upon to pinch hit, as the Brewers are in desperate times. So desperate times call for desperate measures. They're going with every offensive person they can find. Bruhard pinch hitting here against Splittorff. 410. 410, catcher X. That's the same thing that Gantner would have got, but you didn't know that coming in. Catcher X, Wathen's a 3E5. 3 and a 17. This could be a ground ball double play. Let's see, a 3 and a 17. Actually, it's a G3, runner will advance. And that is a 14. He is an E5. There is no 14, but it is a ground ball advancing, so it's going to be a 2-3 ground out with Charlie Moore taking second base. So Bruhard grounds out, the runner does advance. Romero will now come in and play second base. And that brings up the top of the order for Paul Molitor. Splittorff to Molitor, 6'9", that's a walk. That's what you need if you're the Brewers, you need base runners. So first and second with one out, and the big boys coming up, Yount and Cooper. They have the offense to do it. It's just a matter of can they do it. Splittorff to Yount. 3-8 for Yount against a lefty, and that's a walk. That'll load the bases. Not what you want to do when you got a 7-0 lead, is start walking guys. And now the bases are loaded with one out. Infield is at double play depth for Cecil Cooper. One swing of the bat, and we got an interesting game again. 6-11. That's a split chance on a super advanced. 1-6 is a single. That's a 19, so we're going to line it to second. So had that been just advanced and not super advanced, that would have been a base hit. But in super advanced, it's a liner to second with one, making now 2 away. So it's up to Ted Simmons to get it done. Up to Ted Simmons to get it all done. 2-10, and he can. He grounds to short, and that is going to end the inning. So the Brew Crew leave them loaded, and just ironically, had we flip-flopped the order, a 2-10 for Cooper, he would have gotten a double. But, you know, you don't know these things when you're putting the lineup together. You have no idea what the dice are going to be. Do the best you can. Brewers leave them loaded and come away empty-handed. We go to the the bottom of the 5th. Let's see, is Slayton going to come back, or are we going with somebody else? I think we're going to go to somebody else. They're going to go to left-hander. Boy, who do they go to here? There aren't many good options. McClure is tired because he pitched so many innings in game 1, so he's not available. They're going to go to Dwight Bernard. So Bernard will be coming in. We'll probably see Raleigh Fingers too, just because he didn't pitch at all in game 1. He needs some work. So Bernard's going to come in. Slayton's going to go 1 inning. Now let's check the runs charged to Caldwell and wrap him up. He is charged with 4 runs. The other 4 runs, or other 3 runs rather, are charged to Slayton. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, I'm sorry. I got that backwards. 2 runs to Slayton, 5 to Caldwell. Forgot about the home run to UL. So 5 runs in 3+ innings, 9 hits and 5 runs off of Caldwell. Slayton gives up 2 hits and 2 runs, and he ended up walking 2. In his inning of work, so not very pretty either way you want to look at it. UL Washington will lead off against Bernard, and on the 82 season, Bernard was 3-1, 3.76 ERA and 6 saves. He does have a long relief rating, so he can eat a couple innings if he needs to. And the way the Brewers are, they need him to. 4-10, switch hitter batting left. 4-10's a fly to center. And UL Washington is retired. Brings up Willie Wilson. Don't forget now Ed Romero is the second baseman for the Brewers. No longer is Gantner out there. It is Romero. Bernard, 2-5 against Wilson. 2-5 is a ground ball to second. And as soon as you bring in a new fielder, the ball goes right to him. Ground ball to second. 2 down. Brings up Frank White. He's doubled all 3 times. That was against the lefty Caldwell. Let's see what he does here against the righty Dwight Bernard. 2-11. That's a ballpark single. 18, though, is going to miss out on that, so he will line it to short to end the inning. So Bernard pitches a 1-2-3 inning for the Brewers. But they still trail it 7-0. And Splittorff had a rough inning in the 5th, but got out of it unscathed. We'll start fresh again here in the 6th. This is his point of weakness inning. Gorman Thomas. 3-6 for Thomas, and he struck him out. So Stormin Gorman storms off to the dugout after striking out. Here's Ben Ogilvy. Splittorff 4-9, fly to left, 2 down. And that brings up Don Money. 4-4 against Splittorff, a right-hander. Ground ball third base X. That's Brett. He's a 2E21. 220 is good. E21 and an 8 shouldn't be a problem, I wouldn't think. E21 and an 8. Nope, 6 and 11 are errors, but not an 8. So easy play there. 1-2-3 inning for Splittorff. He's thrown 6 shutout frames. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, still 7-0. Bernard back out. We'll be facing George Brett. Start things off. 3-8 for Brett. That's a walk. Those leadoff walks can be a little iffy. With a 7-0 lead, they're not going to hold him on, and he's certainly not going to go anywhere. Bernard with the havoc for a possible wild pitch. Nothing happening. Here's McRae. His first chance to bat. He's been intentionally walked twice and drew a regular walk, so he would like to swing the bat. 2-4, and he does some damage. Look at this. 1-15 is a home run. That's a 3. That's why they were walking McRae all this time. A 2-run bomb for McRae, and it is 9-0 Royals. Boy, Royals got hot at the right time to overtake California, and now they're laying the whooping on the Brew Crew. It is now 9-0. Here's Amos Otis. Otis, my man. 3-10 for Otis, and he's going to do damage. That's a double for Amos Otis. The hit parade continues for the Royals, and that brings up Willie Aikens. Bernard checking for a wild pitch. Nothing happening. 6-8 against a lefty. And look at all these outs in column 6, but found the one area where there was a hit. It's a single 2 stars. That will score Otis. Another run is in. 3 runs are in. It's now 10-0. And Bernard is fatigued, but he's going to stay out there. They just want him to eat some innings. Although lefty Jamie Easterly is now loosening the bullpen. 5-7 against a right-hander. That's a strikeout, but he's tired. He was tired. At least I think he was tired. No, he wasn't. He wasn't tired because his fatigue is a 3, and he's only in second inning relief, so he's not tired. It's a strikeout. My bad. I was thinking he was tired. He wasn't. So he struck him out. That brings up Jerry Martin. Martin now. 2-8, and that's a strikeout. So Slayton trying to come back, or Bernard rather, is trying to come back and get out of this inning. Here's Washington. He may have been tired. The way I understand the fatigue roll, he would not be tired, but giving up these 4 hits, these walking 4 hits or 4 base runners or whatever, may have made him tired, but I'm thinking he doesn't get tired until he gets his 3rd inning. Maybe that's the 3rd out. I'm not really up on the fatigue roll, but to me, back in 1982, he wouldn't be tired that quickly because he only faced 3 batters in the first. It was only his 7th batter faced or whatever, so I don't think he'd be tired in real life. So that's what I'm more basing it on that. When I'm unsure on the exact rule, it makes sense he's not tired to me. Washington 6-6, switch hitter batting left. Struck him out, so he comes back and strikes out the side. That will be all for Bernard. He will be done now. He goes 2 innings, and he's going to give up 3 hits, 3 runs. He walked 1 and struck out 3, and of course the big home run. So 10-0 Royals over the Brew Crew in a laugher, and the Brewers just don't know what to do. They're trying everything they can think of. Here's Charlie Moore to lead it off against Splittor. 5-5. Ground ball shortstop XSUL Washington, 2 E32. 2 and an 18, he'll get to that. E32 and a 12. E32, there's no 12. There's a 13, which he made an error on last time, but this is a 12. So Moore, he made an error on a ground ball by Moore last time up, but this time he gets him 1 away. And now here's Ed Romero, his first at bat of the playoffs. 1-7, and he's going to ground to short. UL again, right there, 2 down for Paul Molitor. Splittor tossing a beauty. 5-5 against a right-hander. Ground ball shortstop X. Again, we're going back to UL. 2 and a 7, he'll get to that. That's an 8 on an E32. There is no 8, so it's a good play. UL makes the ground ball, makes the play on all 3 ground balls. Paul Splittor throws 7 shutout frames. And it's a laugher, 10-0. Royals over the Brewers. Brewers need a new pitcher, and they're going to go to a left-hander, Jerry Augustine. Jerry Augustine, a lefty reliever, part-time starter, part-time reliever. 1 and 3, a 5.08 ERA, 2 starts, no saves, but of course he does have the relief rating to fall back on as well. So he's definitely, he could pitch these last 2 innings and not have to use anybody else in the bullpen. Although there is an off day, so we might just get Raleigh Fingers just because in the 9th, just because they want to get him some work. So here's Willie Wilson. He will be starting out against Jerry Augustine. He will turn around bat right-handed, 4-8. And look at this, 1 to 14's an in home run chance. That's a 9, but he has weak power against lefties, so weak power against both, actually. So it's just going to be a single for Willie Wilson. It could have been a home run had he had more power. And, of course, 10-0, they're going to respect the traditions of baseball and not steal or anything like that. They're not even going to hold him on because they don't think, they're not going to do that. So they're going to go by the code of conduct, so to speak. Here's Frank White. 2-8 for White, and his code of conduct is hit another double. 9 to 20 is a double. That is a 9. His 4th double of the game, and the Royals will just hold up Willie Wilson at third base rather. So 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. George Brett, the batter. Infield is back because it doesn't really matter at this point if they allow another run or not. They just need outs. So Brett against Augustine. 5-6, struck him out. So Brett, one of the few Royals that is not hitting in this game. Someone who is Hal McRae, and they're not even going to pitch to Hal McRae. They're going to walk Hal McRae right here. His 3rd intentional walk of the game. I don't think I've ever done that before, but they got to try to turn a double play on Amos Otis and get out of the inning. Augustine to Otis. 210 for Otis against a lefty. That's a ballpark single check. That's a 5. He's a 16 on the single, so that's going to be a single. RBI single for AO. Wilson will score. It's now 11-0 Royals. Boy, not a good way to get a lot of views on your video when the game goes 11-0, but there's nothing you can really do about it. Here's Akins, bases loaded, 1 out. Nothing going on there. 6-7, lefty on lefty. 6-7 is a single to center field. Another run is in, and that will be it for Augustine. He will leave as well, as that now makes it 12-0. So that's it for Augustine. He didn't fare too well. He will get out of there. Augustine will end up going 1/3 of an inning, giving up 4 hits and a walk. He did get a strikeout. Let's see, he's given up 2 runs so far, and he's responsible for the 3 guys on base. And now let's see who the Brewers will bring in. And they're actually going to go ahead and bring in Raleigh Fingers to try to minimize the damage. Raleigh says thanks a lot, but they want to get him some work. There is an off day for travel tomorrow. They don't want him to go both games without pitching. So Fingers will be facing John Wathen. Bases loaded. 1 out. Infield looking for the double play. Nothing on the havoc. Fingers to Wathen. 3-8 for Wathen. Struck him out. So a strikeout there for Raleigh Fingers is 2 away. Brings up Jerry Martin, but they're going to call Jerry Martin back. With a 10-0 lead, they want to get some bench guys in the game. So they're going to bring in Steve Hammond. Steve Hammond will come in and play right field. He'll pinch hit for Martin and will get his first at bat of the series. In 1982, he hit .230 with 126 at bats with 1 home run. He's a pretty good fielder, a 3, a -1 arm, and an E3, so not quite as good a range as Martin, but a better error rating, a better arm. But at this point, they're just looking to get some backup guys some at bats. So Hammond is on to pinch hit with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Fingers to Hammond. 5-5, and that's a strikeout. So Fingers comes in and strikes out both guys he faces. That's all he's going to do is go to 2/3 of an inning. He strikes out both guys he faces. 2 runs come in. It is now 12-0 Kansas City. They missed both the extra points. And that's going to be it for Fingers. They'll bring in somebody else to mop up here in the bottom half. Now Splittorff could keep going, but I think they're going to go ahead and just give him the rest of the game off with the big lead that they have. So Splittorff's going to go 7 innings. And let's see what he gives. Obviously no runs. Let's check the hits. He gave up 1, 2, 3. I only see 3 hits. He did walk quite a few, but he's pitching a 3-hit shutout. He walked 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 walks. That was his only, if you want to call it a bugaboo, he had 4 walks. Not a lot of strikeouts. He had 1 strikeout of Gorman Thomas, and that's all I see, and 1 strikeout of Simmons. So just 2 strikeouts with the 4 walks. So now we'll get a new pitcher for the Royals, and let's see who they're going to go with. Looks like they're going to go with Bud Black. Bud Black, 4-6, 4.58 ERA. 14 starts, no saves, but of course he does have a relief rating there, so we're going to use him to get some work. May let him finish both innings. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Brew Crew will lead off with Robin Yount, followed by Cooper and Simmons here in the top of the 8th, and a blowout, 12-0. And it's a shocker to the Strat-O-Matic world, I think. 2-5 for Yount against a lefty. Fouls out to Wathen. 1 away, and the powerful Brewer lineup has just been stymied here at Royal Stadium. Here's Cooper. 3-7 against a lefty. He's going to line it to short. UL Washington right there, 2 down. And that brings up Ted Simmons. 4-8, and that's a single for Simmons. So a 2-out single for Ted Simmons. He's aboard. And that'll bring up Gorman Thomas. Of course, nobody's being held or anything like that. Havoc roll, nothing happening. 2-4. 2-4, a 1's a single, but that's an 18, so that's a liner to short. Snagged again by UL Washington. The inning's over. Bud Black pitches a scoreless 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 12-0 in favor of Kansas City. And now the Royals will bring in, or the Brewers rather, will bring in Jamie Easterly to mop up. He's a computer-generated card that I had to use. I believe he's the only bullpen guy that has not pitched in this series for the Brewers. He pitched 31 innings on the season, 0-2 with a 4.70 ERA and 2 saves. And the Royals will again go to their bench. UL Washington will not come out and hit. They will use Greg Pryor instead. Or do they use, no, I'm sorry, they're going to use Onyx Concepcion. So Onyx Concepcion will be the new shortstop. He's going to pinch hit and take over at short, where he is a 3.42. So not very good, but they're going to, you know, when you're up 12-0, you can do these things. So we're about ready to empty the benches, as we also have Lee May and Cesar Geronimo are all possibilities to get some activity as well. We shall see. Right now, UL Washington being pulled for Onyx Concepcion. UL had the home run in the 4th, so he did his damage. Now he's going to let somebody else give it a try. 5-8, and that's a ground ball second base X. I know sometimes these computer cards are hard to see, but it is a ground ball second base X. And that is Romero, who's a 3.24. 3 and a 14, he'll get to that. E24 and a 12. There's an 11, but no 12, so Romero makes the play, and Concepcion is retired. We will get a new left fielder for Willie Wilson, I do believe. So let's see who they're going to go with. They're going to go with, even though it's a lefty on left, well, they're going to, let's see how they're going to play this. They want to keep Willie Wilson in the game. They may keep Willie Wilson in the game. How do they want to do this? Yeah, they're going to let Willie Wilson hit. They don't want to take him out. So Easterly to Wilson. 4-8, and that's a walk. So a 2-out walk, or 1-out walk rather, to Willie Wilson. And of course, Wilson's not going to go anywhere. And here's Frank White. He has 4 doubles in this game. Could he get a 5th double? I know that would be a record. 4 is already a record for me personally. I don't know about anybody else. Havoc roll, because Easterly does have a wild pitch rating of 4, but we're not going there. So Easterly to White. 3-2 against a lefty, and that's a single 1 star. So not a double, but his 5th hit of the game for Frank White. Wilson will stop at second. And now with George Brett coming up, Brett will be called back, as they will allow Greg Pryor to pinch hit. So Greg Pryor is going to come on. He was a 270 hitter and 152 at bats. And he will take over at third base for Brett as well. Brett hitless in this game, so kind of unusual for him, but they want to get some of these bench guys an opportunity. So Greg Pryor will be coming on to pinch hit against Easterly with 2 on and 1 out. Nothing on the Havoc. Pitch to Pryor. 1-3. That's a ground. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1-3 is a ground ball third base B. It's a fielder's choice. 5-4. So he reaches on the fielder's choice. Wilson will take third. Runners at the corners with 2 outs, and Hal McRae, the batter. And boy, do they intentionally walk Hal? Well, actually, you know, they're going to pinch hit for Hal McRae with Lee May. So Lee May will take over as the DH and pinch hit for McRae to give him an at bat. So they want to, like I said, get their bench players some work. So Lee May will take over as the pinch hitter. And in a 12-0 game, I see no reason to intentionally walk anybody. So Easterly will go ahead and pitch to Lee May. Probably a little bit less daunting than pitching to McRae. We'll see. 5-9, and that's a walk. So he walked him anyway, this time unintentionally. That will load the bases. That will load the bases, and we come up to Amos Otis. Otis, my man, who has 4 hits as well. Easterly to Otis. Nothing on the Havoc. 1-5, and that's a single 2 stars. The hits keep coming as Easterly runs into trouble. A 2-run single there. May scoots over to third base. So now, what do we have going this way? We now have, what do they want to do? Do they want to pinch hit? They're going to pinch hit for Willie Aikens. And let's see who else hasn't played. or had an at-bat. Don Slott will come in, and Don Slott's going to take over as the catcher, and they're going to move Wathen to first base because he is rated at first base. So Wathen in the 9th will play first base, and Slott will catch as he pinch hits for Akins. So all kinds of little stuff going on. Easterly is fatigued, but they don't want to use any other pitchers. They're going to try to just get this third out somehow by hook or crook. Slott the batter against Easterly. 2-11, and that's a ballpark single check, which is a 1-16, so it's a base hit for Slott. That will score Lee May. Another run is in. 3 runs are in. It is now 15-0. And things are definitely getting strange. 15-0. Now Wathen, who is the new first baseman, will hit against Easterly. 3-7, and that's a walk. So now the bases are loaded again. And the 9th man to bat in the inning is new right fielder Steve Hammond. They're going to pull Hammond back and go with Cesar Geronimo. He's the only one off the bench that has not hit yet. So Cesar Geronimo, although he's not much against lefties, neither is Steve Hammond. But Geronimo will take over. And now they've cleared their bench. He's the 9th man to bat in the inning. Cesar Geronimo. Easterly is fatigued, but he's just trying to will his way to this last out. 110, he may do it. It's ground ball to first. 3-1 ground out to end the inning. 3 runs score off of Easterly, so he goes 1 inning. Gives up, let's see what he gave up as far as runs go. Let's see here. 3 runs, so it's a 1, 2, 3 hits. He walked 2. Actually, he walked 3. So 3 walks, that did him in as well. Of course, no strikeouts. So now Bud Black, I think, will come out and finish the ball game. Don't see why he wouldn't. Or do they want to bring in somebody else? They may bring in somebody else. Is there anybody else in their bullpen that has not pitched? I believe Quisenberry did Quisenberry pitch in game? Actually, Quisenberry did not pitch in game 1, so they want to get Quisenberry some action. So Quisenberry is going to come on because game 1 did not end up being a safe situation. So Quisenberry never pitched, so he's going to pitch in this one just to get an inning of work in. They do have the off day tomorrow for travel, so no sweat there. Black goes 1 inning, gives up a hit and nothing else. And now we're looking at Quisenberry, 9-7, 2.57 ERA and 35 saves. He will be on. Obviously not a save situation when it's 15-0, but you know, what are you going to do? Geronimo is the new right fielder. Slott is the new catcher. Wathen's the new first baseman. Concepcion the new shortstop. So that's all the changes for the Royals. Now the Brew Crew, it'll be Ben Ogilvie to lead off. And they'll get a pinch hitter from Money. They will go to their bench and use Roy Howell. He will take over as the DH. So Roy Howell will pinch hit for Money. But first it's Ogilvie against Quisenberry. 4-8, and that's ground ball to second. Easy play for Frank White. 1 away. And that brings up the pinch hitter Roy Howell. 3-3 against Quisenberry for Howell is a split chance, single 1. Anything else he lines to second, so he lines it right to Frank White for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. And do they go to the bench again for Charlie Moore? I think they do. They're going to bring in Marshall Edwards, another lefty. So Marshall Edwards will hit for Charlie Moore as the fiasco continues. 1 out away from a 15-0 victory. Quisenberry to Edwards. 6-9, ground ball shortstop X. That is Concepcion. He's a 3 E42. 3 and a 17, he'll get to it, but the 42 could be problematic. That's a 14. E42 and a 14 is an error. E42 and a 14 is an error on Concepcion. So this spot in the order, another E6. 3 ground balls to short. This one's another E6. Second error of the game on the Royals. That's about the only thing they're not doing correctly is making errors. They've made 2 errors now. Edwards is on. And that'll bring up Ed Romero, the scheduled hitter, but Romero will be called back. And we will get another hitter for the Brewers, and it will be Mark Bruhard. 269, or do they want to go with Bruhard, or then we'll go to somebody else? Let's see. They could use Piccolo. I think Bruhard already pinch hit in the previous game, so we're going to go with, let's see, did he do that in the previous game? Did Bruhard pitch hit in the previous game? No, he didn't. I don't see where he did, so we're going to stick with Bruhard. Mark Bruhard will pinch hit. Oh, he's already pinch hit for Gantner. He can't pinch it again. My bad. He already pinch hit for Gantner. My bad. So we'll have to beat Piccolo because they already pinch hit for him with when they were pinch hitting for Gantner. So my bad. I'll get it straight in a minute. Piccolo. And I believe except for Ned Yost, everybody else on the Brewer bench has had an at-bat now. So Piccolo will be facing Quisenberry. No wild pitch chance for Quisenberry. Here's the pitch to Piccolo. 5-5. That's a single to center field by Piccolo. So even in a 15-0 game, did you think there'd be a 1-2-3 ninth inning? Probably not. So that'll bring up Molitor, top of the order. You'd like to get Ned Yost at bat, but I don't think you want to pinch hit for Molitor here. I think Ned Yost is just going to have to go without an at bat. So we're just going to go with Molitor as they try to get a run off of Quisenberry here in the 9th. That's the only drama still left. 3-10, and that's a ballpark home run chance. Right-handers, though, only 1-2. That's a 6. So it's just going to be a deep fly to left, and the ball game is over. The Royals shut out the Brewers emphatically, 15-0. Quisenberry in the 9th goes 1 inning, gives up a hit, nothing else. So the Brewers limited it to 5 hits, and I believe all 5, well, he had 1 double and 4 singles. So not too good there. The Royals pound out, let's see, 11, 14, 8. I got them for 21 hits. This is all unofficial, of course. But in just 8 innings of batting, I've got the Royals with 15 runs and 21 hits as they land-based the Brewers 15-0. Splittorff the winner, Caldwell the loser. Royals take a commanding 2-0 lead in the series. And they will go back to Milwaukee limping very badly. And they will turn to Don Sutton to try to fix their ills. They acquired him from the Astros midseason for games such as this. And he will be facing yet another lefty, Larry Gura. So that's the 3rd lefty in a row for the Royals. They will go with Larry Gura as their starter against Don Sutton. So that's going to be Game 3 matchup where it's do or die for the Brew Crew. At least they're back in the friendly confines of County Stadium. But from here, it's all Royals all the time, 15-0. I would say I hope you enjoyed that game from Strat-O-Matic, but it was such a blowout. Might be hard to enjoy it. I don't know. That's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.